we've discussed life, living,
Yes.
in which love doesn't exist at all. Love can only exist when the perceiver is the perceived and acts, as we said. Then that flame, that compassion, that sense of holding the earth in your arms, as it were. If that is understood, and from that behavior, because that is the foundation. If there is no behavior in the sense of non-conflicting behavior, then after establishing that in ourselves or in observing it, we can proceed next to the question of death. Because that is, the question of death is an immense thing. To me, living, love, and death are not separate. They're one movement. It isn't death over there, which I'm going to meet in 20 years or next day. It is there. It is there with love and with living. It's a continuous movement, non-divisive. This way I live and think, feel, that's my life. I mean this. These are not just words to me. So, before we enter into the question of death, we have to go into the question of what is consciousness. Because if one doesn't understand what is consciousness, not the explanation, not the description, not the word, but the reality of consciousness. Am I, as a human, ever conscious? And what is to be conscious? What is it to be aware? Am I aware? Totally. Or just occasionally I'm aware when a crisis arises. Otherwise, I'm dormant. So that's why it becomes very important to find out what is consciousness. Right, sir?
Yes. What you've just said seems to me to indicate that we're making a distinction between consciousness, which is a continuing movement, utterly situated in act,
That's
as
right.
over against these blips, these eruptions virtually,
blips, that's right.
within the sleepy course of nature.
Nature, that's right.
Yes, I see that. Yes, please go ahead.
What is consciousness? Consciousness is its content. I'm putting it very simply. I prefer to talk about these things very simply, not in elaborate linguistic descriptions and theories and suppositions and all the rest. So it has no meaning to me personally.
If it's true, it will be simple.
Simple.
Yes, of course.
Consciousness is its content. The content is consciousness. The two are not separate. That is, the thoughts, the anxieties, the identifications, the conflicts, the anxiety, the attachments, the attachments, the fears, the pleasures, the agony, the suffering, the beliefs, the neurotic actions, and all that is my consciousness. Because that is the content.
This is an equivalent statement to the world is me and I am the world.
That's right.
So there's a continuity there.
That's
Yes,
right.
yes.
So, the content which says that's my furniture, that's my God, that's my belief, with all its nuances and subtleties and all that, is part of my consciousness, is part of the consciousness which says, I am. Right? I am that. I am the furniture. When I identify myself, saying that's my furniture, you follow? When I'm attached to it, I am that. I am that knowledge which says, I've acquired knowledge, I have grown in it, I have been successful in it, it has given me great comfort, it has given me a house, a position, a power. That house is me. The battle which I've been through, suffering, agony, that's me. That's my consciousness. So the content of consciousness is its content. Therefore, there is no division as consciousness separate from its content. I can extend or widen the consciousness laterally or horizontally, horizontally or vertically, but it is still within that field. I can extend it saying God is immense. That's my belief. And I've extended my consciousness by imagining that it is extended. Whatever thought has created in the world and inside me is the content. The whole world, especially in the West, is based on thought. Its activities, its explorations, its achievements, its religions, and so on, is fundamentally the result of thought, with its images and so on, so on, so on. So that is the content of consciousness. Right?
Right.
Now, from that arises, what is death? Is death the ending of consciousness with its content? Or is death a continuity of that consciousness? Your consciousness is not different from mine. It may have little variations, little modifications, little more expansion, little contraction, and so on, but essentially, consciousness is yours as well as mine. Because I'm attached to my house, so are you. I'm attached to my knowledge. I'm attached to my family. I'm in despair, whether I live in India or in England or in America, whatever it is. So it is that consciousness is common. It's irrefutable. You follow, sir?
Oh, it is, yes. Yes, I do follow closely.
So, see what happens. And I never have examined this content. I've never looked at it closely, and I'm frightened. Frightened of something which I call death. The unknown. Let's call it for the moment the unknown. So, I'm frightened. There's no answer to it. Somebody comes along and says, yes, my friend, there's life after death. I have proofs for it. I know it exists because I met my brother, my son. We'll go into that presently. So, I, frightened, anxious, fearful, diseased, you follow? I accept that tremendously. Instantly, say yes. There is reincarnation. I'm going to be born next life. And that life is related to karma. The word karma means to act.
Yes.
Not all the rigmarole involved in it, just to act.
Yes.
See what is involved. That is, if I believe in reincarnation, that is, this consciousness with its content, which is the me, my ego, myself, my activities, my hopes, pleasure, all that is my consciousness. That consciousness is going to be born next life, which is the common consciousness of you and me, and him and her. That's going to be born next life. And they say, if you behave properly now, you will be rewarded next life. That's part of the
That's part
causation.
of the content of consciousness.
Causation and the
Yes.
effect.
Yes.
And so behave, because you're going to be punished next life. You will be rewarded next life. That's the whole of the Eastern world is based, believes in reincarnation. So what happens? I've taken comfort in a belief, but actually I don't carry it out. Which says, behave now. Be good now. Don't hurt another now.
Now, actually, the idea is that I should behave now. We've been to this ought stuff.
That's
see? And I should this, I should that, I should the other because of what
that.
will take later. But then I take comfort in the thought that it's an endless process
That's it.
and it's somehow
Next line.
built into it that I'll get another chance.
another chance.
So I can sort of stall. I can stall, can't I?
I can
put
stall,
it
I can
off.
postpone, I can misbehave
Yes, because we're all destined to make it in the end.
eventually.
Yes, which shows that there's no grasp of what, throughout these conversations, you've been talking about, the immediacy and urgency of act.
Act, that's right.
Yes, 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 I
So
follow.
you see, the Hindus probably were the originators of this idea. Cause, effect. And the effect will be modified by next causation. So there is this endless chain. And this is endless. We'll break it sometime. Therefore, it doesn't matter what you do now. Believe gives you great comfort in believing that you will continue, you will be with your brother, wife, husband, whatever it is. But in the meantime, don't bother too seriously, don't take life too seriously.
Exactly, yes, yes.
Have a good time, in fact. Enjoy yourself or do whatever you want to do. Pay a little next life, but carry on.
I was speaking to a well-known Hindu teacher about this, and I made this very remark that you have just stated, and I thought it would have some force.
And
And I said, you see, there's no hope of stopping repeating if an act is not made immediately with respect to this. Therefore, in terms of the content of the consciousness of a whole people that basks in this notion, there can be nothing but an endless repetition
What
and
did
no
he-
true concern.
what did he say?
All he did was laugh,
Yes.
as though I had somehow perceived something
Which-
which most people apparently are not really bothering their heads to look at. But the extraordinary thing to me was that he showed no concern
Quite
for
That-
what he discerned intellectually.
So that's what they are, hypocrites. You follow,
See?
sir? They are hypocrites when they believe that and do something quite contrary.
Precisely. I understand what you mean. What you're saying there is a usage of the biblical notion of hypocrite in that strict sense.
In the strict sense,
Yes,
of
in a
course.
very strict sense. In our next conversation, could we continue
Oh, rather.
with this?
Yes,
Because
right.
it seems to me
Oh,
that...
there's a great deal
Oh,
involved.
splendid. I do so
Yes,
look forward to
we'll
that.
go into it.